Welcome back to the One Decision Away podcast. I'm your host, Elijah Mang. In this one, we're going to talk about effective journaling, how to journal effectively for your personal growth, inner work, reflection, and healing, all of it. Just journaling as a tool to help improve your life. Now, I've journaled quite a bit over the years since I first got into it. And these are all my journals. And this is my most current one, the yellow one. Um, and it has been very transformative, very helpful. And as I addressed in the last episode on how journaling actually changed my life, there's three main aspects I would say, and that is self-awareness is a big part of it, healing and growth, and just reflecting in general as well. And then also clarity. It helps you to gain clarity on things that you're going through or experiencing right now in your life, decisions that you need to make, or, things that are coming up in your life, which route you want to take, how to navigate just the overall experience of life itself. It's helpful for all of these things. And so today I want to get into how to journal effectively. And I'm going to start by just talking about more of a daily journaling practice, just incorporating it into your day. Like, say you take 15 minutes every single morning to journal. One way that you could do it is just by writing out all of your thoughts, setting a timer or something, opening your journal, writing out all your thoughts, writing out what's on your mind when you wake up. And I know some people do that. They'll journal every single day and write like a full page or two or even more, just to brain dump, just to clear their mind in the morning and kind of like create like a reset in the morning so that everything in your mind is down, and then you can just go into your day with a clear mind, with focus, with clarity on your intentions, on what you want, on what you're working towards, on what you're creating in your life, all of that. Okay, so that's one way to journal effectively, and you can use it as a daily practice. You can do that kind of thing. And then also another way, which it's quite a bit different. This may not be the approach that you're going to take to journaling every single day when you're doing it, um, but maybe once or twice a week, every once in a while, you can take this approach, and that is going deeper into your journaling sessions. So kind of reflecting on the past, but reflecting on how the past has influenced you, changed you, created certain beliefs in your life, maybe limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And so that you can go and address those things, get to the very core and the root of why that's still showing up in your life, why you're still holding on to that, how it came to be in the first place. And then you can, from there, shift your perspective on it, create a new understanding, and give that belief a new meaning for you, essentially, so that you can then move forward without this limitation. You can let go of the limitations. You can identify exactly what it is that you need to do, if there's anything further that you need to do beyond just writing about it, to actually make that shift in your mind and release what needs to be released. Because there's two ways that I like to look at healing and personal growth, and releasing what's not serving you anymore, releasing limitations, limiting beliefs, things from the past that are holding you back, and really embodying the person that you want to be, and embodying the traits, the ways that the behaviors and ways that you want to live your life. And I split it into two things which are separate, but they're also very intertwined, which is the mind and the emotions. So the mind consists of your beliefs. It consists of everything that's going on up there, your thoughts. And then secondly is your emotions, which is hand in hand with the mind and beliefs, because your perspectives and your beliefs and your thoughts reinforce certain emotions that you may be holding on to, and certain emotions that you may be holding on to reinforce and create and bring up negative thoughts that you may be dealing with. So for example, you could be holding a lot of fear in your body, in your energy system, and you might find yourself often experiencing a lot of fearful thoughts. You find yourself consistently coming back to this fear, and that's because it's something emotionally that you need to release in your body. And so it's not necessarily something you need to address at the mind level, although it may help, because this is where journaling comes in as a great tool. Because if you can identify how that process is all working mentally and emotionally, then you can gain a better understanding of the emotions, of where you got these emotions, why you're holding on to them, or where you feel them. You can just gain more clarity so that you can then go directly to the emotion, feel it, release it, process it, whatever you need to do, so that you can move forward and release that burden, that emotional baggage that you were still holding on to. Okay, so journaling, a big part of it is addressing the mind level, although it ties in perfectly with the emotional level, because as you address a lot of things in your mind, memories from the past, from your childhood, experiences and beliefs and stuff like that, and how they influenced you, it will help you to bring up certain emotions that may have never really gone away. They've just kind of been lying dormant in your body all these years. They've just been something like this stuck energy in your body, the repressed emotions, suppressed emotions, and things that you may have held back and shoved down because you felt like it wasn't okay to express them at the time. You didn't know how to express them at the time. You felt like it was unacceptable, or it would not be safe to express them. Like maybe you would get punished, or maybe you would get hurt. Maybe there would be some kind of consequences if you did. So you learned ways of suppressing and pushing those emotions down, right? In journaling, you can help to identify those things. And so for the second aspect, like I was saying, it's not the daily journal kind of thing that you're going to do. It's more of like a reprogramming approach to journaling. You're looking to reprogram those limiting beliefs. You're looking to release and heal from the past. You're looking to change those patterns and programs that you've just been living on autopilot, just carrying out on autopilot. And it's time to change those. It's time to free yourself from those limiting behaviors. And so to do this, you need to go deep. You need to ask yourself questions like, what were my relationships like with my parents growing up? What are very significant memories that I have that brought up very strong emotions within me in my past? And using other prompts like this. And see, I want to share with you, I have a ebook that I recently finished making, and it's called The Ultimate Guide to Effective Journaling for Personal Growth, Healing, and Inner Work. And in this ebook, I have hundreds of prompts that you can use for this category, for money mindset, for your life purpose and vision, and crafting that vision and really connecting with your purpose more directly and intimately, addressing relationships, addressing healing the past, letting go of all that stuff from the past. So I have tons of prompts for you to use. The link will be down in the description to get access to this. And it's also going to include an in-depth, very in-depth writings. It's going to include very in-depth writing about how to do the daily journaling and more context around that. How to do the journaling for reprogramming and releasing, how to journal deeper. And so to give you more right now, just for the sake of this video, on that specific topic of reprogramming, of addressing the deeply rooted stuff within us, a very, very, very good way to really get deeper into this is to ask yourself questions like why, or where did that come from, or how did that feel, or just address like who, what, when, where, how, why. Asking yourself all those questions just to dig deeper. Because if you ask yourself an initial question, you use one of the prompts and say it's something about your relationship with your dad growing up. Maybe he left early on in your life or something like that, and it created these issues with abandonment. It created these issues with trust. Then you can ask yourself, okay, why? And how did that affect me the way, how did that affect me the way that it did? And how can I maybe create a new meaning and understanding of this event in my life? And instead of looking at it as a hindrance, as an obstacle, as a challenge, which obviously it's a challenge, but you can look at it for the benefit that it's created for you. And these things are really easy to discover when you go deep into journaling. And when you can really allow yourself to fully just let all the mental processes, thought processes out, Put them on paper so you can clearly see them, and then it's easy to navigate these things, because it's hard to just sort through all these things in your thoughts. Heck, it's hard even sharing with you right now, like journal prompts just on the fly, thinking of them. So imagine trying to like ask yourself questions and go deep. You have to be in a space where you're sitting, no distractions, completely focused on one train of thought, right? Typically, you're not going to do that, you know? So when you write it out, it makes it really easy. So beyond that kind of journaling, and you really just want to ask yourself questions to get to the core, because like I could say, why do I want to make $1 million? I want to make $1 million because it would give me time and money freedom. Okay. Is that like really motivating though? Does that really like get to the core of why I want to make $1 million? No. So what if I ask myself why? Why do I want time and money freedom? Because I felt like I have been limited, or I like in my life in the past, I had to be limited to a specific schedule. I didn't have the freedom to do what I wanted when I wanted, or to buy the things that I wanted, have the experiences that I wanted to have when I wanted to have them. And, you know, that's my reason. Okay, then ask why again. Well, because it has always hurt me, and it was always like kind of painful, feeling like I couldn't get what I wanted or experience my life in the way that I wanted to. And I could see that it was also affecting that kind of way of living was also affecting my family and the people around me, taking away from their happiness and fulfillment and enjoyment of life and peace, and just living in a state of freedom, your ability to just live your life how you want to live, and not really being limited by things where it's like, I can't because I don't have it. It's like a scarcity. I observed a lot of that, and it was painful. And it hurts me to see my family and my loved ones living like that. And it also hurts me to experience that directly. And so that's why. Okay, why does it hurt me to experience that directly? You know, we're going deeper. And, it hurts me because it feels like I am not fully living my life in a way that is possible for me. And I'm limiting myself, and I'm not living at the potential that I truly have. And it feels meaningless in a sense. Okay, why does it feel meaningless? Because if I am here just to live and work and do things I don't want to do, and I can't fully really live and enjoy my life in the way that I want to, and life is unfulfilling, then it's almost not worth living to me. If I have to work and work and work doing things that I don't enjoy just so I can get by every day, to continue to live, for what purpose? Because there's no enjoyment or fulfillment at the end of the tunnel there. Okay, now that might be a little more motivating as to why I want to make $1 million, right? So that's just an example on the fly, just sharing, you know, and some of those things are very actually personal to my experience, because that's a big part of why I got into business to begin with, when I first did it. And then that's what really took me further into personal development, to focusing on like my self-improvement and healing and growing internally, growing beyond all these limiting beliefs, limiting perspectives of life, of myself, you know, believing that I'm genuinely not good enough and I need to prove my worth. I need to justify my existence through action, through performing at a super high level, right? And so journaling is a big part of what has helped me to navigate a lot of these things and grow beyond that and find a greater sense of fulfillment just in being alive itself. There's nothing I need to do specifically to be at peace. I just need to be. And I've been able to get to a point where I got over the chronic anxiety that I used to experience, the depression, and got to a place where I genuinely feel an underlying sense of contentment, regardless of whether I feel sad or happy. I love my life. I'm happy. I'm at peace. And that underlying contentment is a huge difference. Even though it may or may not sound like it, it's a huge difference as opposed to this underlying dissatisfaction in everything. Going through day-to-day life, and it just feels meaningless because there's this underlying dissatisfaction with everything. And regardless of how much I'm doing, regardless of how much I'm producing, regardless of what I'm creating, this underlying dissatisfaction always just comes back up to the surface. And that's actually what a big thing that I've overcome on this journey, and it still comes up. Like our past patterns are still going to come up because they were so deeply ingrained in us in the past that even if we work on reprogramming our mind for quite a while, it's not that we're never going to see or experience that feeling again. It's going to come back up, but which path are we making the most familiar? Is it happiness, or is it dissatisfaction, discontentment, or is it contentment? Which one is more familiar? Which one are we using more? It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. If you stop using it, it doesn't grow as much, and it actually will shrink. So you use it or lose it, right? It's the same kind of thing. If you stop using the negative patterns of thinking and feeling that have become, so normal and familiar in your life, then something else will take its place naturally. And sometimes that you have to intentionally do that, because if you don't, you're just going to continue operating on what's familiar. It's like, I don't know where this quote comes from or whatever, but a man with no vision of his future will always return to his past, that kind of thing. And so journaling to go very deep into these things is extremely transformative. And like I was saying in the Ultimate Guide to Effective Journaling, which you can download in the description, it goes a lot more in depth on this deeper journaling, like asking yourself why over and over to go deeper into it, and also shadow journaling, because there is a part of us that these are just different techniques. Okay, so it's up to you to decipher. I'm just going to do the daily journal. I'm going to do like kind of reflective journaling. Like, how do I feel like I've been operating this past week? And how can I maybe do better this next week? Okay, I have something that addresses that exact formula for journaling. If you want to do some kind of weekly self-analysis kind of thing, I have that in the guide. So go get that. Or if you want to journal, maybe once a week or so, and just focus on the healing stuff, focus on like digging deeper. And that might be like an hour-long journal session, if you really get into it, or longer. I've done journal sessions for multiple hours. And so it's up to you on what is most important to you at this moment, and allowing yourself to just navigate what feels best. And as you start journaling and continue to journal and do it regularly, whether that's weekly or daily or whatever, you will start to really find your way with it. You'll find what you like. You'll find what feels right. You can just open your journal and start writing, and you're never lost as to what you're talking about, or as to like what your intention is, because you intuitively do it. Once it becomes a part of your lifestyle, it's easy, it's natural. You just intuitively do it. You just know, like, I feel like I need to go journal right now. And so you'll go and journal on whatever's on your mind, right? So brain dumping or navigating your thoughts, if you have a decision you're trying to make, but you're kind of just trying to figure out what feels right, it can help to define that, to figure that out. And then the shadow journaling. So this is, again, it's not something you're going to do on a daily basis. But you could, I guess. You could for a little while, to really go deep into the healing and addressing the shadow part of you, right? This is the primal, selfish, needy, greedy, like angry, like I don't care about anybody but myself and getting my needs met. You might have an angry little child in there still who didn't get to express didn't feel safe or comfortable or feel like it was acceptable to express all these emotions that you're still holding on to. And so this is when the shadow journaling comes in handy, because you can give yourself space. Now, this is where I might sometimes not write in here, but take a piece of paper out of my notebook and just go to town. Just write, express every single thought, feeling, emotion, all of it. Let it be expressed fully, authentically, just real, raw. I am not concerned whether or not anybody's going to read this, because I'm doing it in here. I'm taking a piece of paper out so that I can burn it afterwards. And just kind of, in doing that, I can kind of have a little release ceremony too, by just burning the paper. But it's like those things that are not acceptable to really let out. Like the things that you have felt. And here's the thing, we have to accept this part of us. We have to accept the shadow, because we can't just act like it's not there. It's there in every single one of us. And so when you realize that, it's like, oh, I can accept this because it's not just me. It's not like I'm a terrible person because I have this part of me that thinks in this way and feels this way and is super selfish. No, that's not true. That's not, it's totally fine. Everybody has it, you know? And so it's not just you. It's not that you're not good enough, or it's not that you're a bad person, because those things are not the truth of who you are, but they are the truth of the moment when you're feeling them. And the truth of the moment needs to be felt and expressed and released. And so when, you know, like I've held that stuff in a lot in my life. And so I've had to come back to it and write about it and allow it to be expressed. Like just allow all of that stuff, all that anger, allow the sadness, allow the blame, you know, blaming other people for things. Because we all do it. We have all done it. You may not do it as much anymore, which is great, you know, if you've actually healed and not just overlooked those things. Because a lot of people are trying to overlook those things instead of going back and addressing them directly and allowing them to be expressed, so that you can become a whole, fully emotionally intelligent, embodied person who can express themselves right. Not right, but express themselves authentically, and have the level of emotional intelligence that when certain things come up, you can identify, okay, it might be very destructive if I straight up address and express this right now. So let me do it in another way that's more private and safe and just to myself, instead of like really telling this person how I feel, you know? So very helpful to do the shadow journaling every once in a while. You know, if you're just getting into it, yeah, do it every day for a few days or whatever. Just try it. That's the thing, is you just need to kind of feel these things out. You just need to experience them for yourself. And so you want to learn more about the shadow journaling, that is also in the guide. You can journal for manifestation, for manifesting what you want to create and manifest in your life. I manifested the relationship I'm in now, journaling. Journaling was a part of it. Now, obviously there's more to it than just the journaling, but journaling was a big part of it. Journaling allowed me to get the clarity that I needed to help me like identify and release the bullshit that I didn't need, so that I could become an energetic match to what I was manifesting, to this relationship, to what I wanted. And it also allowed me to really accept my desires, because one thing that I wasn't doing before that was I was not being accepting of my true desires. I was kind of living off of this idea of it should look like this, I should do this, I should, you know, behave in this way, I shouldn't like let this part get the best of me. But guess what, you know, shoulds are bullshit. The truth of the moment is our feelings, and we need to address our feelings, not the shoulds. You know, like the shoulds apply sometimes, rarely, but if we're shoulding on ourselves, most of the time it's not beneficial. Most of the time it's not helping with anything. So you can journal for manifestation, manifesting money, manifesting relationship, manifesting a job, manifesting a business partner, manifesting whatever the hell you want to manifest, because you're the creator of your life, straight up. So journaling will help you be a more deliberate creator in your life. And just become an alchemist. It will help you to become an alchemist and transmute all of the shit that you've experienced in your life that maybe you didn't know how to navigate or deal with or process or release or whatever. You can become an alchemist, turning the pain into purpose, turning the fear into more purpose, into love, turning, all of those pains, all of the trauma, all of your challenges, difficulties, downfalls, things, negative things that you experienced growing up, actually turning them into positives, realizing, holy shit, if I didn't experience this traumatic situation that, I've been resenting and resisting for years, then I wouldn't have the level of clarity that I have on the opposite side of that spectrum. Like if I didn't experience this painful separation with my parents, then I wouldn't actually have this desire and clarity of the desire that I have for a very connected, fulfilling, loving relationship. You wouldn't know as much what you wanted if you didn't experience what you didn't want. So these are all just aspects of how journaling can help you, different ways to navigate and all of that. Now you can take all of this and just run with it. I know this will be helpful if you apply it, if you start to do it. Download my ebook and get the prompts. There's hundreds of them, and there's great information in the ebook as well. So I highly recommend that you get that. I curated all of this together to share my expertise and experience of journaling from over the years, and to share it with you and compile it all into one place for you. So go click the link and get that, and you'll have access to all the prompts and everything in there as well. So that'll be incredibly helpful. You will never be lost as to what do I write about, or how do I, navigate this thing? How do I, whatever. It's all available there for you. And so if you have any further questions, drop them down below, or comments, thoughts, whatever. Please feel free to share them down below. I appreciate you watching this and listening and sharing this time with me. And I am honored to be able to bring you value, to share with you my experience, to share with you what I've learned and what I've found valuable, so that you don't have to spend as much time doing it, so that you can take what I've learned over years and compress it down to being a master like that right away. Like, you don't have to pick apart the pieces from everywhere. You can find a gold mine right here as to how to journal effectively and use this tool for the rest of your life, because that's what it is. It's a tool that you can use for the rest of your life to become a great coach for yourself, a mentor for yourself, a friend for yourself, a lover for yourself, all of these things. And if you know how to journal, you can navigate anything in life. It will really help you to navigate anything in life if you know how to journal effectively for the different purposes that you may need it for in your life. So, hope this was beneficial. Let me know your favorite part down in the comments. Drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this and got value from it. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. And thanks for showing up for yourself too, because that is the most important part. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.